Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, we're here. Jon Peckman Podcast. Beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, pull a Yui, park in front of the music store with the red neon light. We have music lessons. We have music gear. We have vinyl. We have turntables. We have this beautiful podcast studio. You can have your very own podcast right here. Dave will tell you how. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, tell your plants. We are here today with brand new friend just met moments ago. Are you ready? Alex Nakhimovsky. That's him. That's you, sir.
Yes.
Right. Pianist or piano player, involved in all kinds of different things. And we're gonna see if we can get the whole story. So what do you have coming up that you want to tell us about? This will air probably in a couple of days. So if you have any engagements or anything that's coming up, let us know about them now.
Okay, John, thank you so much for the invitation. Great to be
Of course.
in the studio here at the wonderful place of my longtime friend Dave Kuzminski, who I've known for many, many years.
There he goes.
So thank you. So yeah, as far as upcoming shows, I have I'll be playing at Foxwoods Casino on July 10th with a movie actor and singer who does Frank Sinatra songbook. His name is Robert Davi.
Oh, okay.
And he's he's been in about 150 plus movies. Well-known actor and an excellent singer. Then also in July I have a show in Branford at the park with a harmonica virtuoso jazz friend, Chris DePino Quartet, and myself.
Okay.
And some other things coming up. You know, so different things like that. Yeah.
So you play mostly jazz or no? Or whatever?
I play jazz, I play popular music. I enjoy playing classical music. I really enjoy practicing classical music. Probably most of my jazz would be jazz oriented, I would say, yeah.
Okay. And you come from where? You came to the U.S. from where?
Right, yeah, I came to United States from Russia. I came in 1978. First, I came to New York City.
Wow.
And then, studied there for 1 year at Manor School of Music. And then, actually, my mother was teaching at Colgate University, upstate New York. So my second year, I went to Colgate, studied there.
Okay.
And then my mother got a teaching gig at Trinity College in Hartford.
Oh, okay.
And then at that point, I went and studied at Hart School of Music.
Oh, I got
you. So I've been, and now I've been based out of Connecticut from 1980.
Wow.
That's my home.
Okay.
Home base.
And that's where you met Dave, somewhere in there.
Exactly, in the 80s, yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
And was that the dream to come here to the U.S. to play music, or?
Well, initially, I had a pretty nice education in Russia. I studied theory of music a lot of, which eventually helped me to be proficient in jazz. I had excellent teachers in Russia. The initial point for our departure from Russia was really my mother's feeling that there is not enough freedom in Russia.
Okay.
And then, of course, when I got to the United States, I didn't know at that point that I'll be living and working with some of the greatest jazz musicians in the world. So that was, extra bonus, so to speak.
Wow.
So I had no idea, but believe me, I'm very glad that I'm in the United States and have chance to interact with so many amazing musicians.
So they didn't make it over there then. So you could study it, but you couldn't play with them.
Oh yeah, I couldn't play, jazz with those guys. Some of them occasionally would come to Russia.
Uh-huh.
And Dave Brubeck came, and Duke Ellington actually came and played there. People like that.
Sure.
And the Chick Corea came several times, etc., etc. But of course, for me to be able to do so much jazz music, it's the best place to be here, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Near New York and Connecticut.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you made it here. What was the first thing that you did that you got involved in that was kind of what you hoped to do? Do you remember?
Well, when I studied at the Hart School of Music, we had a gig line there, and one of the first phone calls I got was actually to work at a dinner theater. It was called Coach Light Dinner Theater. It's near South Windsor. So I had that gig for about 4 years.
Oh wow!
So so I did a lot of Broadway shows.
Okay.
Because I'm a pretty good reader. That allowed me to to do those shows, and plus the fact that I kind of was able to play different styles like jazz and classical music. Also, that helps on the Broadway scene, so to speak.
Yeah. So when you were studying at Hart, did you feel that? Did you know more? Was your education? Was it deeper? Or did you feel like you learned more there than was your initial education better than you think U.S. education was?
Well, it's comparing apples and oranges in a way, because in Russia I got a lot of fundamentals where they trained my ear and taught me harmony and theory and stuff like that. And then when I came to Hart School of Music, initially I was studying like classical piano accompanying.
Okay.
But then, the legendary Jackie McLean was there. And then about a year later, I started checking out some of the jazz shows there. And then, actually Jackie McLean asked me to accompany his students and I was pianist for his students for 2 years, pretty much every week. And we kept very close connection with Mr. McLean, and I'm very grateful to him. And one of the first gigs, actually, just speaking of Mr. McLean, is in '86 I was invited to apply for a cruise ship job. Yeah. And then I said, Jackie, would you write me a recommendation? And so he did, and the guy who was booking, he was a sax player. So when he saw recommendations from
Mr. McLean, he just was,
okay. So I did some of cruise ship work at that point also.
So you did that for a while?
Yeah, I did on and off, part time. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yes. Yeah.
Playing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, a variety of music, exactly. Jazz, shows, solo piano, etc. Yeah.
That's cool. So you got a lot of playing in. You got to play a lot.
I also had some solo gigs, like in Hartford, the Summit Hotel.
Okay.
I worked for about 6 years, 6 nights a week for a year.
Wow.
So it gave me a chance to kind of work on my repertoire, so to speak.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. So you don't think you wouldn't have had all those kinds of opportunities back home?
Oh, definitely not.
Okay.
No,
so it was the right thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No question.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you were saying how you said you're going to India. What's that all about?
Yes, I got about a week ago. I got a call from a friend of mine who does a lot of bookings all over the world, and he has very strong connection to India.
Wow!
And then he said, if I would go, and the headliner for that event will be, great jazz saxophonist Eric Alexander.
Okay.
And one of the best in the world. And then, we'll have bass and drums and me playing piano. So that's a nice event. I got to be practicing for that one to hang with those guys, man. They play sometimes very, very fast. So.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, man. It's
wow.
dangerous, man.
Yeah.
I need to find a seat belt, strong seat belt, man, to hang with those guys, yes.
Yeah.
But, I'll practice. I'll try to get ready.
Really? So you just got to get your technique together.
Well, I got because I do variety of stuff. I do classical and this and that. For next 10 months, I need just kind of zoom a little more on jazz, man. Just do transcribe and play more and stuff like that.
Do you know what tunes they're going to do?
Not yet. Yeah, we have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we know good variety of songs, so it wouldn't be an issue, but probably would be a good idea to figure out some of the tunes, especially the fast ones. And,
So and you have to be ready to burn.
Burn.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What was either back home or here, like who was your first, inspiration in the classical world and then in the jazz world?
Great. Well, classical, actually I was a very late starter in piano. First I started on violin, and then I studied theory of music, and then actually the piano I started actively studying in the United States at Colgate University.
Okay.
So I had several classical pianists that I enjoyed listening to, Vladimir Horowitz, Arthur Rubinstein, some Russian pianists, Svetoslav Richter, Emil Gilels, etc., etc.
So these are the big ones.
Yeah, they are great, and some other ones. And then as far as jazz, Bill Evans, I enjoyed his style and his kind of, I can relate to that. It's kind of lyrical stuff. And then, many great ones: Bud Powell, Keith Jarrett, Chick Corea, who I had fortune actually of meeting, several times.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Talking to Chick Corea, that was, great musician, genius.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget. It'll just occur to me randomly that like, oh, Chick Corea's gone.
I know, right?
That's sad.
It happened, man.
Yeah, it's a drag.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The music world was very shocked, man.
Yeah.
The news, yeah.
I forget. And
I know,
remember,
right? Yeah,
go,
well,
wow.
his music is, man, here.
Yeah.
Yes, all the time. Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any way that you can maybe describe how playing like jazz versus show tunes, is it a different approach? Or I would imagine if you're playing show tunes, right, it's just you're reading and interpreting, right?
Yeah. Show tunes are, quite close to classical music because they're written out, like you said, right? But a lot of them would have some jazz elements and what have you, or and jazz, it's like you're composing on the spot, of course.
Yeah.
You don't, you don't know what you'll be playing,
Right.
Absolutely, and which is quite an adventure and a fun one,
Yeah. Do you feel like do most, because I don't know, this is why I'm asking, is most or many piano players that do show tunes, are they versed in jazz? Probably. Do you think? Or does it help that you're more versed in jazz? Does it kind of help?
Yeah, I think it is helpful if you know jazz well. It's helpful, with some show tunes.
Yep.
However, a lot of musicians that don't play jazz very well, and they're broader musicians, they still can, by listening to the feel and doing it, they can get that correct feeling.
Yeah,
But sometimes, usually, I can't tell if this guy is.
That's what I was.
Right.
At, yeah.
Usually, if he's strong in jazz or just kind of able to do it quite well.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Do you feel that being proficient in jazz as a pianist, is that helpful overall? Because it's more technically demanding, or is it just different because it's improvised versus? I don't know if that makes sense. Does that kind of make sense?
Well, let me tell you how being a jazz musician, pianist, can be helpful in classical world.
Okay, yeah.
For example, if you get lost, you can start just improvising and just get out of
and hope that nobody notices.
Well, you'll just you can make things up, and I guess. And I'm sure there are some other benefits. There's several wonderful jazz pianists who played a lot of classical music, and who are very proficient in classical music. Of course, Keith Jarrett is a prime example of that, and of course, Chick Corea played a lot of classical music, and Brad Meldau plays a lot of classical music, and many musicians play classical music. An interesting story for me was I took a consultation once about almost 25 years ago from great African-American jazz pianist Malcolm Miller, who unfortunately, passed quite young. And when I walked into his house in Pennsylvania, the first thing I noticed was there was Italian concerto by Bach on his music sandwich, which I was like, wow.
Yeah, sure.
Which was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that, who knows? I mean, I guess I would imagine, unless you're just kind of learning, if you're self-taught, if you're going to start on piano, you start with classical, I guess, right?
Yeah. Okay. And composers like Bach and Chopin and Debussy are great for jazz musicians. It's a well-known fact,
I see.
Musicians get a lot of jazz musicians get a lot of inspiration from those musicians. Like somebody like Debussy and Ravel. Their chords and harmonies.
Okay, that was
very much jazz.
Oh wow!
Like oriented with like very large sonorities.
Okay.
And the Russian composer Alexander Scriabin is another example who uses a lot of like jazz type of voicings and chords, I would say. And actually, first time I heard Chicoria in early 80s, I was at the festival. I went to the concert, and he started playing without announcing. He started playing piece which I knew very well by Russian composer Alexander Scriabin. Okay. And he starts playing it, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So after he finished playing it, he said, by the way, this is a piece by Russian composer Alexander Scriabin.
And you're like, I know.
Well, I didn't say that, but I did talk to him about it after that. But the point is that it sounded so jazz that people might have thought that it was his original composition. So he said, no, it's not. It's
wow.
And he passed away like in 1915. So way back he was experimenting with some very hip stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that because that was going to be my question. Was he post jazz? And it just harmonically was related, but you think he was influenced by the birth of jazz, or it's just harmonically?
No, I think some of the classical compositions, like by Scriabin and Debussy and Ravel and Stravinsky, they actually influenced jazz.
I see.
So they showed some of the harmonic possibilities, and the classical composers also drew inspiration from jazz, in many ways.
Yeah.
In rhythmic, in rhythm of the music and etc. Instrumentation and what have you.
Yeah, so it's all kind of related in some kind of way.
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's funny. Like you say, they would have thought Chick Corea was playing jazz, and wow.
And, so that piece was like from 1891.
Wow.
Yeah, way back. One of his earlier pieces. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. I never thought about that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
So that was almost an education of him doing that. Just telling people that like there was a guy from way back then that was kind of starting this.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's wild. That's really wild.
A lot of mysteries in music, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, that's really cool. I never thought about it like that, because what I was going to ask is classical music helpful? I'm just assuming, me not being a pianist, that learning some classical repertoire helps with your technique.
Absolutely.
That's part of it. But I wasn't thinking that even harmonically, that was going to be my next question. Is there, some sort of parallel to harmonic? And you answered that question. So.
Although, it's interestingly, some piano teachers who teach jazz, they feel that technique is different somehow, jazz technique.
Yeah.
So I guess there are different approaches, to that. And that teacher, who I studied with, his name is Harvey Diamond. I studied with him in Boston in early 80s at the recommendation of Pat Metheny, great guitar player. Yeah, I met Pat in Connecticut, and I said I'm interested in studying jazz. So he hooked me up with Harvey Diamond, and Harvey was saying that jazz technique is quite different from classical technique. But Harvey was playing also a lot of classical music.
Okay,
just for practicing. So I'm not sure.
And do you find that that's true in your experience now? Do you agree with that? That the technique is different enough, or not really?
I'm not even. I don't know. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how to. I know that for me, playing and practicing some of the classical stuff is definitely helpful in playing jazz.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I guess one of the things that he was referring to was that in classical music, in classical piano pieces, you have set fingerings.
Okay.
Which you need to learn in order to achieve like ultimate result.
Okay.
And in jazz you improvise, so your fingering is like could be very awkward and very unpredictable.
Okay.
So I mean, in that sense, it's different,
Yep.
But
do you feel that? I'm sure that the classical technique experience helps your jazz playing in some way. Is the opposite after you play jazz for a while? Does it improve your classical technique, or it doesn't work that way?
Well, I guess so. Again, maybe the fact that I use different fingering, and if I forget fingering in the classical stuff,
I got you.
I'm more flexible. I guess.
Right. So you could
like
just
that.
make it happen.
Maybe some fingering, right?
Yeah.
I'm used to in jazz. I'm used to more awkward fingering, so
right.
I have different choices in classical if I deal with some passage.
Do classical pianists judge each other on technique? Like if you were playing a classical piece and you were kind of improvising your fingerings, would they be like, "Oh, this guy's not legit," or it doesn't matter?
Well, as long the results, that would count.
Right. That's what I was.
So if it sounds convincing, that's all that matters, man.
And you can make it sound convincing with your own fingering.
Well, I guess it depends. If it's a fast passage, then you'd better find a fingering that you can get most benefits from that. For slower stuff, there could be some.
And do you think, like, ultimately the classical technique in fingerings is the most efficient, or it just was first? Like, is it still the most efficient way?
Well, I don't know. There's different possibilities even in classical. Pieces,
okay.
There's different. It depends on your hand formation, what have you, the things of that nature. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that. But a good idea to start with classical technique, I guess, generally, right?
Well, if nothing else, it's always good to learn how to read music well.
Right.
Because if you're a jazz musician, you come in a situation where there is some very challenging pieces that are written out, melodies and what have you. So definitely classical background would always be helpful.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel too. Always helpful because you don't know what you're going to encounter. Once you get out there, the more you know, the better, And I would imagine that's why you're able to move through all the different musical realms that you move in. Is because of that, right?
Well, I always recommend to my students to be, as versatile as possible, to get as many, skills so that you can deal with different situations, About 10 years ago, I was approached by a friend of mine, Kenneth Wichman, who is a podiatrist in Manchester, and we started annual Manchester, Connecticut Jazz Festival, which we did for 10 years now. And our 11th going to be on first weekend in December, December 5th and 6th. And we already have some artists lined up for that. We have Connecticut Big Band under the direction of John Mastroianni. We have a Beatles jazz group with great musicians, Dave Kikowski, pianist, Boris Kozlov on bass, and drummer, I don't have his name right now. He's from Great Britain. We tentatively have a group from Japan. And so that's kind of interesting project that I've been involved with.
Yeah, that's cool. What's the venue?
Right, it will be at the Cheney Hall in Manchester. Cheney Hall,
yeah. That's kind of cool. So you did that. Were you involved in that from the very beginning?
Yes, at the very beginning. I was like music director, and I played several times. At the festival, And of course, another project that Music Lab was involved with was with June Bissans, who is a wonderful vocalist, and we did three CDs together.
Okay.
And our last project is called Love's Tango.
Okay.
And it's all original material.
Oh,
It's
wow.
all my music and her lyrics.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And that recording, did very well.
Yeah.
And so that's another project that I am quite involved with.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, all right. So we talked about India. Who was going to be here? Who's not here?
Well, June. I didn't know June was supposed to be here. I didn't get that. But she's a wonderful, vocalist.
Okay.
And she is a wonderful artist.
Oh, wow.
She's professor emerita at Willimantic.
Okay.
Whatever that university is.
Yeah.
It escapes me right now.
What, UConn? Is it up there or no?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe something else.
Yeah.
But June and I, we went to Japan several times. We did tours there, where we just played in Willimantic at the River Room.
Okay.
About 10 days ago or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a drummer.
Right.
Who are some of your favorite drummers? Can you talk about playing with drummers? At all? That might be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was fortunate to work with Jimmy Cobb.
Oh, wow.
Who is drummer
sure.
for kind of blue.
Yeah.
So that was very special. I had a couple of engagements where he played, and then a lot of younger drummers in New York City. I was very fortunate to play with them. Jonathan Blake, Willie Jones III, Nasheed Waits, and Joel Rosenblatt, who is
sure.
Joel.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
worked with Joel several times. A lot of fun. Yeah, not some other people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I played with Victor Lewis.
Oh,
who's
nice.
a jazz drummer.
Yeah.
Just once.
Yeah. When you play with Jimmy Cobb, what was that like?
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was surreal.
Yeah.
I was playing in a quint. It was at 880 Club in Hartford in late 90s.
Okay.
And my friend Valery Ponomarev, who was a trumpeter with Jazz Messengers, he put together like a quintet gig for that, and Jimmy Cobb was drummer for that. It was amazing, but even more amazing when Valerie it was quintet gig, with sax player and trumpet and piano trio.
Yeah.
And he said, now we'd like to feature our pianist, which was a complete surprise. And I was playing in a trio setting with Jimmy Cobb, man.
Wow.
And we played Autumn Leaves, and man, it's like I had goosebumps.
You
man.
could feel it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Now thinking about it gives me goosebumps, man. It's like it was So,
He was easy to play with.
I mean, it was amazing, man.
Is that the thing with him? So how do you describe it? It just is just a great feel, just a nice feel, and just easy to play with.
It's easy and it's like unbelievable.
Wow.
To have him play, and he's like digging it in, and it was a lot of fun.
And you made something happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How would you describe? How does Joel? Because I know Joel a little bit. Like how would you describe Joel Rosenblatt's playing? What's it like to play with him?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a different style.
Yep.
It's more fusion. I can sort of maybe handle somewhat fusion projects. It's not I don't do it that often. Although I used to produce a lot of concerts in Russia.
Okay.
I had some nice connections there. So there was a festival in Siberia that I would bring a lot of great music. Mike Stern, I brought different people, and then I brought Tanya Maria and Richard Bonin and what have you. And then actually one time I went with Bill Evans, sax player, for the tour there.
Wow!
So that was my kind of experience in fusion type of music.
Yeah.
So
So that's not really your thing.
I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed it a lot, and the thing is, really, I didn't study it thoroughly. meaning that I'm kind of able to, take care of it. And the chords are chords, but there could be some rhythmic stuff or what have you that could sound more legit, But I'm surviving.
Yeah. Yeah, you just do what you got to do.
Right, you just do the best I can,
Yeah, I hear that. Have been in my time a little bit into Latin jazz. You mentioned Tanya Maria, so play that.
I love Brazilian music.
Yeah,
I love bossa nova, sambas. Actually, our project with June Bissan's, our original project, is mostly bossa novas and sambas.
Nice.
Yeah. Huh. It's called the Love's Tango, and it's. I love bossa. I love Jobim.
Yeah.
I love Ivan Lins.
Mm-hmm.
Alice Regina. All Gal Costa, wonderful Brazilian singer. I love that musical.
I'm just starting my journey into that lately.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, our concert with June about 10 days ago. On that concert, we had a wonderful bassist Harvey S. Who does a lot of Latin stuff.
Yeah.
So that was nice to do some of our stuff with him because he knows that music quite well,
Yeah. How would you, because I'm trying to understand it myself. I'm just kind of getting started. And it just seems to me that so far, I think Brazilian musicians, they just have a different touch. It's just even just the way the drummers strike, it's a different touch. Is that, you approach it differently touch-wise, or it's just chords are chords?
Well, I didn't think too much about it, but probably, this being very frequently very lyrical music.
Yeah.
So you kind of, maybe you navigate it accordingly. There is a couple of Brazilian drummers and percussionists that I was fortunate to work with. One of them is Duduca da Fonseca.
Okay.
He is, I think he worked with Jobim, and then there is another gentleman. His name is Rogério Bacato. He's a percussionist, Brazilian, and so it was great to work with them. Again, that's I would love to study more of that music just to get better feel for for accompanying, proper accompanying and having interesting rhythms to go along with the music. But so many things to try to accomplish, man.
And then the rhythmic feel when you're playing with those guys, you kind of have to, I would imagine, listen a little bit more and figure out. Because I might be wrong, but it seems to me, it's like I studied, Afro-Cuban to a certain degree, and there's kind of rules. There's more rules to Afro-Cuban style as far as, this section of the tune, you're going to go to the montuno, you're going to do this or that. In Brazilian music, I might be wrong, but it does, I can't detect the rules yet. It seems to be less regimented rhythmically, like Afro-Cuban can be. Do you think is that true?
Man, I'm not sure.
To know.
I'm not.
You know what I mean? Because like Afro-Cuban, everything is about the clave.
Right.
Everything's ruled by the clave.
But I think you probably, you very well may be right. But I'm not an expert.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able.
Yeah,
but it's an interesting point. I'd love to get opinions from some of my drummer friends on that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand it because, like I say, at least for me, Afro-Cuban, everything revolves around the clave. What kind of clave you're playing, but Brazilian, I can't figure out what the rules are. But it when you hear it. That's for sure. That's kind of the way I feel about it. Is when you hear people playing it right, I don't know if I would be able to play it right yet. I have to immerse myself more in it to kind of get that feel.
Give me a call when you do Brazilian gig.
Oh boy,
I'd love to do it, man, with you.
Oh boy, I don't know about that.
Why not? Well, let's check it out together.
Oh boy, yeah. But if neither of us know, we need someone that knows.
It's okay. We'll come to the end of the song together in some form.
Right. Some kind of way. Yeah. So can you remember when you, like, your first professional gig in America, like when you first were like, okay, here we go. Do you remember what it was and what you were doing?
Yeah. So, we came in February of '78, and there was a huge storm. February of '78, storm of '78.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting out at the airport, and there was 4 feet of snow.
You thought you left that behind.
Exactly right. So what's going on? That's what I was told. Yes. So, but anyway, so then in summer of that year, I don't remember the details, but I got a gig in Sarasota Springs, playing for ballet school.
Oh wow!
I was playing ballet. I was 19 at the time. I was playing for 6 weeks or so ballet school. And
wow.
Your improvisational skills kind of work there.
Is that right?
Yeah, you can do a variety of things. For ballet. And then I did some. Let's see, what did I do? Then I did some summer camps, etc. Yeah, things like that. Accompanying different singers.
Yeah.
And actually, in New York, I had a gig at the Kaufman Center in Manhattan. I was accompanying some teachers and things of that nature. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you feel? Was there at any point that you felt like that you were hitting the jazz scene? Like you're like, okay, now I'm here, I'm in it. You remember, like what that first gig might have been? Maybe in New York, when you're like, did you feel like, okay, now I'm getting in the scene?
Well,
or was it just
don't remember like particular moment. Probably like a year into my studies of jazz, I started doing some gig, some private events with a trio or with a solo, and no big gigs for a while.
Okay.
And then then more things started to happen.
And then you had to come to Connecticut to play with Jimmy Cobb. That's kind of cool.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess when we had Jackie McLean up here, everything kind of revolved around that for that period. That was a little bit before my time, but
yeah, Jackie, left amazing legacy with so many great musicians. From Hart School of Music. Steve Davis, Jimmy Green. Nat Reeves is a fixture at Hartford, and my friend Paul Brown.
Okay.
Great bassist. Who left us several years ago. I'm very grateful to him because he was, he hooked me up with performance in Japan in 2005.
Oh wow!
On very short notice, and then then I had a number of engagements in Japan, thanks to Paul Brown. So I'm grateful to him for that. And they have, of course, Monday Night Jazz, Paul Brown's at Bushnell Park.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a question now. I can't remember. Oh, so I don't know anything about this at all, but when you said it, now you got me thinking. So you're accompanying a ballet school.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like? Like you're playing, I would assume there's a repertoire, but you said there's improvisation. How does that?
Well, for ballet school, you have like exercise of certain number of measures. It's like, let's say 32 measure exercise, and you need to find the music that they show you the movement, and then you try to find the music that you feel suits the movement. So you can take like even popular song.
Oh wow.
So actually during ballet classes you're not supposed to play ballet music. Because ballet music was choreographed with a specific movement, so you stay away from that.
Oh wow!
You take you like popular song, standards, or you improvise.
So they're not learning when they learn, and they're in the ballet school. They're not learning a song. They're learning a bunch of
movements, right?
Oh wow!
And music's supposed to just to support that and inspire them,
So you're almost like a music director. You're like an MD. You have to think and draw on.
Well, yeah, you improvise or play some music that would fit the mood and would inspire them.
I got you.
That type of thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's got to be that's different.
And then actually for a year I did a college gig at Connecticut College.
Okay.
That was an opening for musician for dance.
Okay.
So I did a year of that in 93 to 94, yeah, which was interesting. Yeah.
Are there people who only do that?
It's quite a few of my friends who are amazing musicians. Like there is a gentleman by the name of Arkady Figlin, who's originally from Russia. He's a monster pianist, but he works at the ballet school.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 40, 50 hours
Wow.
a week.
Wow.
And he does occasional gigs. And, it's a steady, excellent income,
Yeah.
And he's happy doing that. I've done it for a bit, like with Hartford Ballet, etc. But it's not really my kind of,
I was going to say, it wasn't your thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay for a while, but
Are you glad? You're glad you did it?
I'm glad I did it. Yeah, I made a living, and it was.
Did it
fine.
anything that you did then help with anything you're doing now, or just completely different? Or you don't think about it like that?
Yeah, just
yeah.
You keep your fingers.
Yeah.
Working in some form. It's okay.
Yeah. I guess that's how you get. I just never knew such a thing existed. I don't even know how that would work, but I guess what you're saying between that and like the cruise ship or whatever, you're getting your hours in, right? I mean, that's what they always say. You got to spend, I don't know, what is it, 10,000 hours or whatever they say is like just to play. I was watching, because I never thought of it this way too. I would just think that a cruise ship gig is just a gig, a gig is a gig. And I remember I was watching a YouTube video and somebody was saying that is a thing. When you get out of music school and you just want a lot of playing experience, you're saying sometimes you're playing on a cruise ship, you're playing with a band, and then you're doing a solo gig, so you're getting a lot of hours, playing.
Yeah, right. Plus, of course, you don't have to pay rent.
Right.
And you got free food,
Gotcha.
so that's one way to, save.
Yeah, meet women from all over the world, maybe.
So, actually...
And then they're gone. And,
right, exactly. Somewhat interesting story about cruise ship, actually. My first cruise ship gig in 87, I was on SS Norway, which is, great, wonderful ship, historic ship.
Okay.
So I started working there in January. And I was planning to do 4 months contract, and then I was supposed to do other things, and then they announced 2 months into my first contract, they say we're going to have a jazz cruise in October, with all jazz superstars. So I said, okay, I'm staying for that.
Yeah.
So there was Sarah Vaughan, Tommy Flanagan, many great, Gary Burton.
So you were in the right place at the right time.
Well, and then I stayed for that, and I enjoyed that very much. And one time I was playing a solo gig at the bar, at 1:15 in the morning, and Tommy Flanagan, who recorded with John Coltrane and others, he walks into the bar, man.
Oh.
And there's and I'm playing, and
all of a sudden you felt like you had nothing but thumbs.
My hands are shaking, etc. So it was interesting.
Did you talk to him, or he just kind of?
He listened for about 10-15 minutes, and I was too scared. I don't know. I was too nervous to stop. And then he walked away, and then I was hanging with another pianist, Roland Hanna. And then a day or two later, we meet Tommy Flanagan in a cruise ship, and Roland Hanna says, "Please, Tommy, please meet Alex, Russian pianist." And Tommy goes, "Yeah, I checked him out the other night." So
oh boy,
I'm not sure if it was a compliment or not compliment or what, or neutral statement.
Oh wow,
but it's all good.
Yeah. No, that's cool. We're getting close to the end.
Yeah.
We kind of did it. Is there anything I have some questions at the end that I usually ask people that kind of, do you have anything else that you want to talk about, or that so this is what I tell people: picture yourself going home and going, oh, I should have talked about so-and-so.
Yeah, well, just interesting experience I had several weeks ago.
Yeah.
I went to Cannes Film Festival.
Oh, right.
With Robert Davi, singer, actor. So that was very interesting experience. And, I also went with Robert to Europe last year.
Oh, wow.
We did Cannes. So it's a nice project for me, which I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to, Mr. Davi for, working with me on that.
Yeah.
So that's,
that's a good gig every once in a while, right?
Yeah. It's a nice gig, right? And then I'm grateful to many jazz musicians that I was able to bring to Russia.
Right.
Legendary Sheila Jordan came with me 3 times, and then different people like that. So I'm just very fortunate.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right. So a couple of wrap-up questions. Can you name like your 5 favorite albums, like 5, that you could just listen to over and over, off the top of your head?
Yeah. Okay. So Kind of Blue,
Sure.
Chicaria, Light as a Feather,
Okay. Yeah.
Keith Jarrett Standard album, Amazing Bud Powell,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and any stuff by Joe Beam and Stan Getz.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Yeah, and that's it.
5, man.
That'll do it.
Yeah, 5.
That'll do it. Okay. All right, cool. If there was one food that you could eat every day and with no consequence, what would it be?
Milkshake.
Really?
Yeah,
A milkshake.
I love milkshake. there probably would be consequences though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
What does that mean? I just mean if there were none. Like,
Yeah,
what
milkshake. I love milkshake.
Wow, what kind?
Well, just vanilla with ice cream. I just had one like an hour ago. So it's great. How about yourself?
Oh, I guess Mexican food.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, I love Japanese food. I love French music, French
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Mexican is nice too. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Wow, who makes the best milkshake around here? You don't care.
Well, I do it at home myself usually. Yeah. Or if I stop by,
So what's the secret to it?
no secret. Just
the perfect. Just ice cream, milk, and just.
I experiment: ice cream, milk, banana, some strawberries, man, a little bit of chocolate. I think that's good. It gives a little nice thing, man.
So milkshake, that's your thing.
Yeah, man.
Wow, that's funny. Where did you pick that up? Who knows?
Actually, I think when I was growing in Russia, in the city of Chelyabinsk, that was like a luxury. I would drive for 15 minutes on a tram to the center of town just to get one. Nobody asked me. Now I.
So then, when you grew up and you thought I can have one whenever I want,
right. That's it, man. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you think of any one concert or show that you saw that completely changed, that blew your mind or changed the way you were going? Does anyone come to mind?
Well, I was fortunate in 79. I wouldn't say that it blew my mind, but actually I was fortunate in 79 to hear Vladimir Horowitz play in New York.
Okay.
And I was sitting up where somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't remember two details, but I just I feel it's very special that I was able to see him live. But I probably, let's see, what was I say? One of my heroes, one of the first people that influenced my jazz appreciation was Ella Fitzgerald.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was recording in Russia that I heard, and that at that point I fell in love with jazz.
Yeah.
And by the way, she was singing a song. One of the songs that she was singing was "Whisper Not" by Benny Golson.
Okay.
And then I was fortunate to work with Mr. Golson in the future several times, actually.
Wow.
In Russia, in Israel, and then in the United States. So that was very special for me. But as far as concerts, so what happened was in the early 90s, I lived in Connecticut, but I was driving in New York area and found out that Ella Fitzgerald is performing at Carnegie Hall.
Oh.
So the concert was like in about 1 hour.
Oh boy.
So I drive towards Carnegie Hall. It's kind of unusual story. I drive towards Carnegie Hall. I find out that it's sold out.
Oh boy. So
what do? I put my car. I park my car in front of Carnegie Hall, which
Yeah.
And no. I walk into the usher, and I say, and I say, I have an aunt, and that she needs some medication. I need to bring her some medication.
Oh, boy.
So I go up and hear Ella Fitzgerald for about 3 minutes.
And that was enough.
And that's it. I made the connection with the goddess. I walked back.
And you just pretend. You went up to some random woman and pretended like you were giving her medication.
No.
You didn't even.
Usher was downstairs.
So you didn't
she wasn't
care.
checking. Right.
So as long as you got in.
Right. So and then
you stayed until someone said, "Sir."
No. Well, my car was parked, not parked, right in front. I couldn't leave it there, So, but fortunately, it wasn't towed. And there was no ticket, so somebody watched over me, man.
And that was
enough.
Stayed
there. That was.
3 minutes.
That was very special, for me, just to be in contact with.
And what year would that have been?
It's on internet.
Wow.
It's her. I think last concert at the Carnegie Hall, probably '93 or '92 or something like that. It's in internet land. That's the concert.
And now you can watch the whole thing.
No, I mean, I don't know if the concert's on the internet. I'm saying information is on internet when she did it. Yeah. I looked it up recently. Yeah, it was there.
And you were like, I was there.
Yeah, well, somewhat, yes.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Do you know Wallingford? My town? I grew up in Wallingford. It's a town.
A little bit. There is a drummer from Wallingford, Richie Zal. He was a drummer at Coach Lydina Theater. He was an old-timer. So I think he was from Wallingford. Yeah, I'm familiar with Wallingford a little bit, yeah.
There's a theater back in the day, it's called, well, I don't know what it's called now, but in town we call it Oakdale.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the Oakdale. Yeah. And I was flipping through, I collect vinyl, looking for old vinyl. And I guess it was probably in maybe the early 50s. Well, when did Billie Holiday die? Do you remember what year?
59.
Okay. So it was around then, 1958, 59. I have a record. They used to do like a jazz road show. They would have Dick Hyman would be the MD.
Yeah. I met Dick, yes. Yeah.
And they would have a narrator going, well, and he could just play any age.
Dick is amazing. He's 99 now.
He's still alive.
He's alive in Florida.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm looking at this record, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I know Dick Hyman, and I'm like, wait a minute, Billie Holiday. I'm like, what year is this? And I kind of realized, I was like, so this is the end. This is right towards the end of her life. And I'm looking at this record. I forget what it's called. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I look more carefully, and it says Wallingford, Connecticut. And I'm like, this was recorded here. And the record store is right around the corner from Oakdale. And I'm like, can you imagine in 1958, Billie Holiday was here and Dick Hyman was here, and I forget who else, but they got whoever they could get to kind of put together a program. And I just thought it was amazing.
That's great.
And I got the record for like $1. I was like, I'm going to take this because it was like a Wallingford thing this happened.
That's great,
here.
man. Beautiful.
Yeah, kind of wild.
And actually, I heard interviews.
And she sounded fine. I mean, on the record, she sounded beautiful. It's not the Billie Holiday that we remember, but she's still got that thing, It's a thing.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I heard an interview with Oscar Peterson where he would mention that before the tour, big tour, they usually would go to Connecticut first for whatever reason.
Oh.
So they start with Connecticut.
So there's a thing. There was a thing.
So I guess there was a scene in Connecticut as far as
I see.
It's important. That's great, man.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah, I was glad to rescue that record. I was like, I'll take this. But I had no idea when I was even reading it that it was a Wallingford product. I'm like, it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, man.
All right. You made it. We talked for an hour.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Really? We
did?
Oh my God.
I told you we could do this.
Wow.
Great. I knew we could.
Well, John, it's a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to get your name wrong, so I'm going to say it again. Alex Nakhimovsky. That's you. Excellent. Piano player, composer. I'm sure you've written a thing or two in your day.
Yep.
And music director. You're going off to India. You got the music festival coming up in December in Manchester. You're doing all kinds of things. And you were here today.
John, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh
man.
yeah, thank you. I'm gonna hit the button, so you're gonna hear music. You ready? Rock and roll. All right, Jon Peckman podcast.
How did we do? Okay.
Yeah, it was great. It was
yeah,
perfect.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, hey, we'll see you next time, kids. Come to go over the Portland Bridge, Bulleyui, parking for the music store at the red neon light. All right, Alex, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right.
And I'll get information from Dave as far as.
Yeah, don't tell Dave all the stories we told about his wild time.
So I'll find out. It's
Yeah.
somewhere internet.
All right, that is all. Thank you, sir.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.